everybody. Welcome to the first ever podcast session of Learnbay. My name is Pritesh and I'll be your host for the session. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome our first guest for the day, Saumya Singh, who is a well-known software engineer and also an educator by choice. Saumya has been teaching coding since many years and today she has reached millions of minds not only across the nation but also across the globe. A well-known influencer, a well-known software engineer and an educator. Please welcome with me Saumya Singh.
Thank you so much, Pritesh, for the warm introduction. Looking forward to the discussion today.
Yes, definitely. Our viewers will definitely be enjoying all the experiences and the learnings that you'll have to share with us, Saumya. So once again, a very warm welcome to Learnbay.
Thank you so much.
So Saumya, to begin with, can you tell us a little bit about your journey as a software engineer at Red Hat?
All right. So I would like to start with how I got into this organization. So this was my dream product-based company when I was in university. So I started, doing open source contribution when I was in second year of my graduation. And that time, Red Hat and Microsoft, these two organizations were quite too much involved in, open source and all of that. So like Red Hat has plenty of open source projects like JBoss, Wildfly, and many, right? So I started contributing, I explored what the projects are and all of that. And it sort of became my dream company because of I saw their employees as well doing the same things, the work-life balance, the culture they had, the Red Hat culture, what it's known for, right? The compensation, product-based companies pay good, right? So because of all of those factors, I was like, okay, I have to work here someday. And because I was also sort of very beginner, right, in the tech industry. So I then asked the software engineers, one beautiful thing about doing open source is you kind of get a good networking, software engineer, senior, principal software engineer from different companies work in the open source project, and you get that exposure. You understand how real world softwares are written, are built and maintained, right? So I got that early exposure that helped me a lot become who I am today. So there are a lot many people from across the globe were contributing. They have over 110 plus offices across the globe, and some of the engineers from US, from Germany, they were contributing to a project Quarkus, right? So I was also there. And I got to know that for Red Hat Bangalore in India, they have 4 offices. I got to know that they are hiring for interns for the Indian locations. They were 40-50% remote even before COVID as well. So you'll see many kind of big organizations have been doing this before the COVID and work from home office thing came. So they were like that before as well. So that also I found that very interesting. I mean, that was sort of new because mostly in India, you go to office daily and all those things were there, right? So I applied, and I was that time in third year. So in the third DSA round, I cleared 2 written DSA and aptitude rounds. In the third one, I was sort of not shortlisted for the 4th round, right? So I was feeling very sad that in spite of so much of preparation, doing so many DSA questions, so many good projects, I got rejection. So I took that rejection as sort of I wrapped myself in that rejection thingy, and I prepared very hard for it. I was like, I have to work here, no matter what. So next year again for the summer batch, and for winter batch, they had their application. So I applied for the winter batch, okay? And that time I was able to clear all the rounds, all the DSA rounds, manager round, everything. And I got 6 months of software engineering internship offer letter. I was like, wow, I made it. And I did my internship, 6 months of software engineering internship, and got the PPO there. So yeah, that was about this organization. But apart from this, I have kind of worked in many other organizations, startups as well. So my first company was a Canada-based startup. I worked there for their network analyzer application. So I would say during the university days only, I got a lot of exposure by working on these real world projects, and that played a very significant role in be it clearing the interviews or getting that confidence, because if you have worked on real stuff, be it via hackathons, open source, or working in a startup, by teaching, you will have that confidence, and that will be reflected in your interviews as well. So yeah.
Yeah, so that's very interesting. And you said that you wrapped yourself in the rejection and you took it as a challenge. That really shows your conviction and how focused you were that you
Right.
want to work in Red Hat. I think that is something that is required in any industry. Your focus, your goal should be very clear.
Exactly.
And that worked for you. That's very, very inspiring. Great, Soumya. But I'm sure it was not a cakewalk.
Obviously.
So, can you like share some of your challenges and also some of your achievements on the way towards Red Hat? I think it's been over 3 years that you're with
Yeah,
Red Hat.
3.5, yeah.
That's amazing. So, any challenges that you have faced, towards reaching this goal?
Right. So the very first challenge, which I think most of the tech students, IT student face, is which programming language should I
Yeah.
start with? Right.
Yes.
That's the first question. Like I even today. Keep on getting, Saumya, should I do Java or C++? Java or C++? This is like most kind of $1 million question in the minds of a student. So I would say I was also in that phase, and that time we did not have so much of exposure, so many seniors or online resources, because that time very few educators were teaching free of cost on the internet or on. I think only one person, Abdul Bari, some good educator was there for tech background. So yes, I mean it was very confusing that time. So what I did, I sort of spent some kind of 20-30 days researching like which programming language is for what purpose. So like Python heavily for machine learning and all, Java if you want to, let's say, get into mobile application development, C++ it's a smooth for competitive programming enthusiast, right? So I sort of did a lot of research and I was like, okay, let's deep dive into Java. And because that is kind of Java and C++ are industry standard language, so don't get, I would say, students who are confused, don't stay confused, you can start with either of these. So with C++ you can do competitive programming as well as some unity games, some game application also they can build, right? It's sort of a bit difficult and like not very common. And if you go with Java, so you can get into maybe Android application development, which is kind of common, and you can get to work as an intern as well in some startups if they are looking for app developers and all. So I started with Java. That is a bit complex, I would say, syntax wise, but it's good. So I started the Java programming language. I did DSA in the same language. And then for projects, again I was confused, like what kind of project should I make. So I made some basic mobile application type of project, but then I got some feedback from my seniors and all that you should add some real world sort of project, like if you have done some internship somewhere or maybe open source project, or if let's say I have kind of I've been winner of some hackathon and all, and my project was shortlisted. So I took all those advice very seriously. I worked upon that. I like contributed to many mobile application project of open source organization like MIFOS, AnitaB.org, and I was then mentor as well in programs like Google Code via like contributing into the same organization. So those experiences I added in my resume, and they kind of added a good weight that okay, she has written code in such big projects which are kind of used by thousands of millions of people, so she would be having some knowledge, right? Interviewers will feel that way. And after that I also participated in lot of hackathons, have been winner of like across, I would say, more than 7 international, national as well as university level hackathon. So in India, like biggest is the Smart India Hackathon. The project that we developed that is being used by SIC hospitals. Like we were the winner of that hackathon. It was sort of, I guess, first time, and our government like Modi ji, the PM, everything came, they inaugurated and all this. It was like a big thing, right? And we got, I guess, cash prize of either 1 lakh or 50,000. I guess it was 1 lakh, yes. And for Delhi Police Hackathon it was 50,000, and the project that we created in this one as well, they're using it, right? So all of these things, like I worked hard to do all of this, right? And when I added this in my resume, obviously it was like a wow factor, right? So I think it's important that you add some real world sort of projects in your resume that will enhance the value as compared to the other candidates who are, let's say, building some chatbot app or something very basic. You will have a more significance weightage. So yeah.
Correct. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a wonderful insight that you just gave. That add your project contribution in your resume. It really makes a lot of difference.
Right.
Now, asking you, Soumya, uh, what were your interests as a child? Like, how did you venture into, you started off as an educator and then you now are a full-time software engineer. So how, like, what were your hobbies and interests as a child and how did it get into software engineering?
Okay, so from the very beginning, I would say from childhood, I was a bookworm. I used to get rank one always. I would say, my father also played a very significant role. He is maths professor,
Oh.
so I kind of, he always used to say education is very important. You should focus on because if you want to get successful, this is the only way, sort of. So that was in my mind from the beginning. I was like very disciplined, sort of child prodigy kind of kid. So yeah, I mean, I used to give a lot of significance to all these subjects: maths, computer science, physics, chemistry, bio, everything, right? So yeah, that's how it happened. Because I was good in all of this, I used to get good marks. So eventually it was pre-decided that I will go into some engineering, college and all of that. Because usually if you are good in maths and all, they, like, parents, Indian parents, feel you are a good match for engineering background. So I would say initially I was not very much like, okay, I have to get into coding, but it somehow happened and I also started loving it. So yeah, that's how it happened.
Yeah, so at your house, there was no engineering versus medical. It was sure. It has to be engineering.
Right.
So, Soumya, you already told that your father had a very major role in influencing your interest in studies and math, especially. Apart from your father, was there anyone around who was from software engineering?
So, in my siblings, cousin, I don't remember anyone, being from engineering background. So that gap was indeed there. I mean, I had no sort of, roadmap or guidance that, okay, you have to go this way. This is the best institute, college for you, or like that. I didn't have that guidance. But once I got into the college and I started like open source contribution and all, so there in the open source communities, I got to, relate to a lot of like tech people. Like Maybelline was there. She was admin of AnitaV.org. She's also now in Red Hat, as far as I remember. She is like product manager or something. So, like, I used to take a lot of inspiration from her in our like weekly calls and all of that, when she used to lead everything. That, okay, in this project, in this software, these are the features that we can make, and these are the bugs that can be solved this way. I used to be like, wow, she has so much of knowledge. I was very beginner sort of. So that was kind of very inspiring thing for me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So, you learn from the people around you, and that is
Exactly.
what helps. Okay, so Soumya, how do you think the role of software engineers in today's time and age, with data science and AI everywhere around, how do you think that, the role of software engineers is evolving? Or, what impact do you think data science and AI is making on the role of a software engineer?
Right. So I would say AI and data science, kind of in my time as well, like machine learning was sort of buzzword, right? But indeed, I mean, if we talk about our domain, we can make things much better if we kind of integrate, if we take use of AI or data science. For example, if we talk about simple application, right, mobile application. So if we go with the native way, if we go with the traditional way, we can kind of reach at this level. But if we integrate machine learning, AI, data science into the same thing, we can make most out of it, right? With the help of data science, we are able to do so much today. Like the recommendation that you get on YouTube, on Netflix, like which is the next good series for you and all of that, your auto correct thingy, whatever you are writing, right? All those things are managed by data science and all. Like, so much of data is there. In the old days, like, we did not need any specific software and all for managing the data. But in today's time, when we have so many things on the internet, so much of data, we need some sort of automation, some tool or something which can squeeze the most out of the data and give us the insightful, like some business oriented result, that okay, for your institute, if you kind of do it this way, it will be good for you, right? Out of all the data, some sort of filtering and all is very much required. And the big companies are kind of making the most out of data, like they are taking the data, and that's why we see so much in the news as well, that there is data leak, and some organization sold the data of so many people to this company and all of that. Why it's all happening? Because data is very significant, it's crucial. Businesses can make so much of profit with the data, right? So that's why, and how AI, data science, all of this are very significant today. And as we software engineers, if we kind of use all of this in the best way, we can make most out of it. Um,
It won't be wrong to say that data is the new currency.
I would say it is not wrong, yeah.
Yeah. And a very, burning question which everybody, especially from this domain, has. Do you think AI will take over software engineers' jobs?
So I would say short answer is no, and long answer maybe. So what's happening? Like if we go back in time, so when some tools were there in the farming industry, in the agriculture industry, or when calculators were invented, so there were so much of rumor that all the calculation related or banking type of jobs will be gone. But we know the reality. We humans use calculator to increase our productivity, we use it to save our time, right? Those jobs are still there, they are still count stuff, it's just that with the help of calculator they are able to do it easily, right? So it's sort of similar situation with AI. We as software engineers, like those techies, those coders who will use AI to kind of automate their jobs, to kind of make most out of it, will be kind of ruling in the tech world. And those who will not keep themselves up to date, they will be kind of left behind, right? So I would say, if you as software engineer know how to make most out of AI, you will be leading. But if you ignore it, so that will be a tough thing for you. But I don't see in near future AI taking over the jobs, because if I imagine, like if you're a software engineer, you yourself try to imagine this, that can your daily job which you do in your organization, can an AI tool do that? I mean, my answer is no. I mean, we have to do so much of manual thinking. If we are making a product from scratch, we have so many meetings, we sit, decide everything, what feature will be created based on user data, our experience and all, designing. Then we have to create design docs, get approval, so many things are there. I don't think it's so easy. Like to say it's like, okay, AI can do everything, it's good, but actually it cannot, right? There are so many things involved. We humans, uh, what we are able to do, I don't think any tool can do that. Like ChatGPT is there to kind of give answers, but if you see ChatGPT itself give that disclaimer that it can produce wrong data, and it is
Absolutely.
not having the information of up till this date. Like if you ask it what is carbon programming language, it won't give any answer, it will be like it is not in my database, right? But we as humans know that it was recently launched by Google, a new programming language sort of thing. So that's what it is, yeah.
I mean, would you say that rather than getting scared that AI might take over our jobs, it's better to use it as a weapon and
uh,
rise higher?
right.
I think that would be a better approach, and it's better to make it your weapon and
Exactly.
fight.
Hmm.
Nice, interesting. Soumya, now that we have spoken about AI taking over jobs, any other misconceptions in the, being a software engineer that people have, and you would like to dispel them, or, break their bubble that no, this is not true, it does not work like that?
Okay, so I think mostly freshers or people who are outside of the tech world, coding world, they feel that we as software engineer just write code. But I think
Oh, you don't?
okay, so that's interesting. I mean, we write code, but apart from that, there are tons of other things that we do, right?
Yes.
As I told, like we have to sit and decide the design and everything,
Absolutely.
features, what will be there, then design documentation, we have to write unit test, j unit test and all of that. We have so many meetings to attend, like a lot many things goes behind the scene, so it's much more than coding. Yeah.
Yes, I'm sure. And now, Soumya, asking you, as a woman, what was your experience in terms of diversity and inclusion in this tech industry?
Okay. That's also a sort of burning question, I would say.
Yes.
I mean, starting with when I entered in my university. So, in batch of 60, 70 students, we were just three, girl techies or women in tech, whatever you prefer saying. And now in my like team, we are two, like Erin is there and I am there, a few more like are sort of joining slowly. So I think that gap is there. I don't know what the exact reason is, but that's sort of reality, right? And there is so much of like percentage gap I can see. I mean, we all notice this in the tech world, it's there, right? So yeah, I would say diversity, we sort of try running so many campaigns, programs, but still the gap exists and we can't deny that. So
Okay, so what would you like to say to all the girls out there who are aspiring to be a software engineer or aspiring to have a mark in the tech world, but then again there might be conversations at home that this is something like boys are more inclined towards, or why don't you try something in some other domain, why you want to go in tech, or parents might be visiting the college and seeing like there are 90% boys.
boys.
So what would you say, or what would you tell those aspiring girls who want to make a mark in the tech world?
I would say it's not a domain which is just for men. I think anyone who is excited about building software, is excited about writing code, can do this. I mean, if I would say any coding language excites you, if you feel that, if when you open up your any application in your phone, like we use Zomato, Gmail, so many things, if you feel that you want to build something like that, if you're curious, no, I think that's the only thing, that's the only prerequisite that one needs. Because in the beginning I was just curious about everything, I also didn't know like how to write code, everything was just going above my mind, like when I started, right? So but if you are excited that okay, I have to learn this, then that will take you long way, that's what I feel. So like don't be like it's just for a specific group of people. I think nowadays women are almost in every sphere of life, right? In every
Absolutely.
domain. So it's the same in this domain as well. If I can do this, I feel like anyone can do this. Yeah.
Yeah, that's lovely. Very nice, very encouraging.
Yeah.
So, to all the girls and women out there, I mean, you have your answer now. If Soumya has done so well for herself, I'm sure you can also, without any inhibitions, without any fear, just go for it and you're going to do great. Right,
Yes.
Soumya?
Yes.
Nice, amazing. Now, coming on to, the next segment where we'll be discussing your current organization. What is it like, working at Red Hat? How your day looks like?
Okay, so my day looks like any generic software engineer's day look like.
Like a 9 to 5?
And I would say the best thing is like most of my teammates are, they are from different time zones. Like few are from US, Germany, and all of that. So it's not exactly like 9 to 5 because I have to coordinate with them and all as well, right? So it's like if you are given some set of task and you are able to do that, that's it, right? So yeah, in a day you have to like write code, or you have to sometimes fix some bugs. Sometimes when you are doing releases, it's a bit like tough, you have a lot of pressure when it goes in production and all of that thing, right? So it's like a generic software engineering job, writing code, sometimes fixing bug meetings and all of that. So like after a period of time it becomes a bit boring. But I mean that's sort of I love it. I love this profession because sometimes you will get tasks which even if you are, let's say, 5 or 6 years of experience software engineer, you will be like, what is this? Like, I don't know. So you will go and learn that thing. This is a beauty of our domain. Like in software engineering, you can't know everything, right? In
Correct.
every phase, be it beginner, senior, experienced, whatever phase you are, you'll always have something new to learn. That's sort of
Oh,
a beauty, I would say. Yeah.
so that's like thrilling. It's exciting.
Right, right.
Yeah,
You
that's
can't be like, I know everything.
exactly.
Yeah.
And Soumya, like, any are there any projects or any initiatives at Red Hat which you are a part of that you are really excited or looking forward to, that I'm going to do this and it's going to be so nice.
Okay, so like the team I am in, it is kind of a new product of Red Hat. I'm in Quarkus team. This is also open source, right? They have both the angles, open source as well as the paid thingy as well. So I started kind of contributing to it when I was in college. So still I'm the same much excited about this project. It is like supersonic, subatomic Java. It's I would say the things which Spring Boot as a framework offers, it has much more to offer to the developer community. So yes, I'm like very excited about this team in which I am. So
Oh,
yeah.
lovely. And now, Soumya, let me ask you a few questions from Learnbay's point of view.
Yes.
So, how do you think platforms like Learnbay can help individuals, start or advance in the tech industry? How do you think Learnbay can make a difference?
Right. So I think platforms like Learnbay play a huge role in anyone's success. When I was in college now, so I had a lack of guidance, lack of mentorship. I was like as I said, which programming language, how to go about it. There was no sort of roadmap, and that's where Learnbay, like I have seen their programs, everything that they offer. There are mainly two verticals, right? Data science, and the other is cloud and DevOps. So the expertise that they possess, the mentors who teach, that's amazing. And I think they can help bridge that gap, like students who are confused, and there is that good sort of job, right? So they can get industry ready if a kind of bridge is there. So those mentors of Learnbay, of such organization, they play a huge role. And it's a great thing that we have such organizations today, because in my time literally there were, I would say, none to zero. So
Okay.
yeah, it's a great thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and you spoke about the bridge, which is very, very important. So at Learnway, we have got something called as the Project Innovation Lab, where we provide a hands-on learning experience. We give them a practical, experience where they can actually, complete a project on their own. How do you think this initiative of a Project Innovation Lab will have an impact on the learning and development? How important do you think is this kind of experience for somebody who is still learning? I would like to know from you, because you are already in the industry.
Right. I think it's a great thing, because with this thing, students will get a good exposure, like how practically and actually things are done in the IT industry without
Absolutely.
actually getting into the industry. So, as I told you, I myself kind of worked a lot on practical projects, be it via like freelancing or hackathon projects and all of that. So, I think this platform which Learnbay is offering, it's amazing. It will help the students or like professionals who are doing that practical lab, who are enrolled in that, when they will develop projects, real world projects, when they will work on practical things, I think they will get to understand how things are actually done. So it's a great initiative, I would say. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And also considering that Learnway gives domain specialized certification programs for working professionals. What are your views regarding the effectiveness or regarding the relevance of such specialized certification, where we are giving a certification from the industry giants for the project? How important do you think is this project certification
Right.
to
So
to get a job or to excel in your career?
exactly. So, if I share my experience, like because I have been in this industry since long, and when, let's say, if in our team we have to hire maybe interns or new people, so the very first thing obviously that we see is the candidate's resume, right? So, if they have added sort of good things, good projects, good experiences, or some valid and nice certification, that obviously leaves a good impact of the candidate in the minds of the interviewers. I will be like, okay, he or she has done this great like program, project, certification, and would be a good candidate, right? So like some certifications are sort of, I would say, you can call it sort of fake or something like that, right? Because some platforms are there, websites, like they offer you certificates out of nowhere, like you won't do anything and they provide you certificate. So I don't give significance to such certificates, but the ones which Learnbay especially provides, I know that there is a lot of work behind that, right? And if you get it from some good organization and you showcase your projects and all of that, it makes a lot of sense. So I think it gives weightage to your resume, and it's a very great thing.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
And out of all the different features that Learnbay has to offer, which one is your favorite, and which one do you think will help help an individual to get a job, or to maybe get a promotion, or who's looking for a transition? Which feature do you think is the
Right.
best?
The very first thing I like is obviously practical platform. The innovation lab is just amazing because I don't see any other like platform or competitor, anyone doing a similar thing at this scale. So that one is really special because I myself emphasize a lot on doing practical things before you sit in the interview. That really gives you a lot of weightage and significance over other candidates. I myself have done that thing, right? So I know the significance of that, and you will be asked a lot of questions from that, I know, because when you do things practically, when you have good projects, so the interviewer will be like, okay, how you created this and all of that, how you took it from started from scratch and completed it. And if you will give like good and like good answers, so the interviewer will understand that okay, he or she has actually added efforts in completing that. So that is like one of my favorite thing, the innovation practical lab which Learnbay provides as a platform. And the domain specialization thing, that is also very kind of focused and clean approach, I would say. They are like, okay, this is the domain, and if you are in this domain, you can excel in the same domain. If you are, let's say, in banking sector, in marketing, anywhere, you can look into the variety of courses that they offer for that particular domain. You can stay in that domain and you can specialize yourself. Like if you are at level 1, so with if you complete this course, you have grasped all the knowledge, you can go to level 2 and 3, you can get promoted, right? So that domain specialization thing is also very nice. So yeah, apart from this, overall I kind of know a few of the mentors as well of Learnway. They're doing amazing. Like overall, it's amazing platform.
That's nice to know.
Yeah.
Soumya, you are doing so many things at a time. You are
Mm-hmm.
a software engineer at Red Hat. You are an influencer. You also teach. How do you learn and grow? I mean, in your field as a professional, as a software engineer, what do you do to keep yourself updated or to keep learning? What is your mantra?
Right, because this is very important question. In our domain, we keep on getting new, tech news, some new releases, a lot many things keep going on, right? Like if you talk about framework, so the every other day sort of you will get to see new web framework in the industry, right? So I think what like is good, and what I myself do is I attend these tech conferences to keep myself up to date, the tech summits and all of that. So what I get to know, like first thing when I go there, so I'll get to know about new things which are going on in the market, right? The topics are always like they pick up the latest and trending stuff, right? So by attending those conferences, you will get to know a lot about what's actually going in the tech industry. Apart from that, you will get to network with very a vast set of software engineers from the industry. So one way is obviously attending the tech conferences, summits. The other way is reading articles. There are many platforms which are dedicated to tech articles, so you can read that. Apart from that, on Twitter, I would say tech Twitter. Like on Twitter, a lot many things are there, like politics and all of that as well. So specifically tech people, the tech community is very active there. If you follow right set of people and the right pages, you will get to know a lot about what's going on in the IT industry, in the tech industry. So these are kind of generic ways how I keep myself up to date.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So, any resources or any practices that you would recommend?
To keep up.
Yes.
Okay, so I think maybe if you want to just start with, you can follow some good newsletters on Medium. You can like check based on your interest, maybe hashtag JavaScript. I mostly follow the ones which are related to mobile application development because that's of my interest, right? So I mean, you can follow a lot of pages are there on Medium. So with the help of hashtag or something like that, they keep on publishing a new article based on what's going on in the tech world. So,
Right,
yeah,
right, right,
that's a good way to start with.
right. And what are your future goals within the tech industry?
Right. So I think it's just the beginning. I mean, there's a lot to do for the society with the help of tech. So my aspirations are like I have to build a lot, many more softwares for the world, for the society, which can solve the real problems of the society. So these kind of goals are from the beginning. I have contributed a lot via many applications which are live as well on Google Play Store or App Store, right? And there is still a lot more to do. So as a software engineer, as a techie, I want to contribute a lot to the society, as well as I teach as well, because when I was in a student, I did not have that guidance, right? So I want to be the mentor, I want to be that teacher for the students, for my juniors who want to become a software engineer. I don't want them to feel that lack of guidance and all. So yes, a lot more to